Nigga, I'm ghost.
That's dope.
We got the Apple event. That was today.
Yep.
That was the thing. We got 2 phones, 2 watches, and a
Heavy emphasis on carbon neutrality.
A rebrand, a rebrand. A rebrand. But I guess we could just talk about what people want to talk about, the iPhone 15 Pro and the Pro Max.
Yes.
It was long awaited. People wanted. People are excited about it. Every year, people are just excited about the Pro. Once it became like a Pro phone, no one really cares about the regular one anymore. It's like, yeah, sure, whatever. What the Pro got, right? What does the Pro have, right? We got a new chip. We got USB-C finally, right? Some new camera stuff, and it's titanium. Did you have any thoughts going in for the new iPhone 15 Pro, or were you just like, whatever they're going to give me is what they're going to give me?
Seeing as how, because Apple is, or most phones in general are running into this issue where there's so much innovation every single year. There's after a certain point you can't innovate certain shit. Like Apple, I'm pretty sure the iPhone is going to remain the same shape it is for the rest of time.
100%.
The only thing that's going to change is in a couple years, maybe the dynamic island is going to be completely gone. It's going to be embedded in the screen itself.
Mm-hmm.
That's it's not really that important, the outside. I think that for what I expected for the 15 Pro and going forward for most iPhones is exactly what Apple did, and that's just work on the inside of the phone.
Yep.
Like there's only so much you can do with the camera, with the Retina display, with the dynamic island. There's only so much you can do before you just end up stagnating.
Yep.
Like obviously we're gonna get to a point where no bezels, no dynamic island, whatever. But for now, focus on the inside of the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Apple succeeded there. But before we start getting to that, what I have to point out is the 15 is the XR of the 14 Pro.
100%.
That like there is
100%.
there is
100%.
no change from the 14 Pro to the 15. The dynamic island is the same. 48 megapixel main camera, 2-time telephoto, like everything is the same except for the third camera lens. That's it.
Yep, and some new body paint. 100%.
That's it. Yeah, some new body paint.
When I seen that, it's like, hey, everyone who didn't get a 14 Pro last year, we're giving you a discount. Here you go. I'm gonna save you $300 to $200. You can get yourself a 14 Pro, and it's in different colors. Okay. You're welcome. Thank me later. 100%. That's exactly what it is. I'm like, bruh.
Which, like, again, I understand why. Like, business-wise, I get it.
Yeah.
Because there's only so much you can do before you start selling and rehashing the same shit. And Apple does catch a lot of flack, whether warranted or unnecessary, for recycling the same phone year after year. I think there's a very obvious example of that, but also you have to save shit for your other phones. I get it.
It's business.
You got to save stuff for the 16, the 17, and so on.
When people say that, I often ask them, who is doing something? Who's like? Of course, we got Samsung and Google and things of that nature. We say that Apple's not innovative and it's the same phone every year, right? I got 2 arguments. Lower argument is whoever's in the cell phone game. When they come out with a phone every year, Samsung's not doing something gravely different every year. Pixel's not doing something gravely different every year. No phone company is, because it's a phone. Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
No one's doing it.
There's only so much you can do.
People will get upset about Apple because the fanboys and the notoriety and how much hoopla they get, which is deserved because they worked on a brand unlike the other carriers, right? But another one is when people be like, hey, it's the same phone, I want something different, right? It's like, dude, like back to the argument you just said earlier, it's only certain things are going to change. Some things are just polished now. Nothing's going to change. It's not the era of like 2012 to 16, maybe 15, that transitional era where you really got things different in phones is gone. It's always
never happening again.
It's always going to be a square in your hand, because why would you have it any other shape? You want like a Dragon Ball finder? You want it to be like a circle? You want a rhombus? What do you want? It doesn't make sense besides it being a square.
It is true. It's true.
It doesn't make sense because that design. It's like I never hear people complain about yo, tires are the same shape every year, yo.
Yeah. There's no.
It's round, it works. You go. You feel me?
Yeah,
Like
it works.
The design just works, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
you know, there's only so many different things you can do. You can change the materials, you can change the designs on the phone, but like, hey, Apple has a very particular design language, and it goes into their branding. If everyone can customize their phone, then there's no reason for Apple to have a certain brand or a certain design language. And that feeling you get when you find out that you have an iPhone and that person does not have one, and that little tingly feeling you get in your heart, and you feel like you're a little bit better than them, that wouldn't exist, right? Because I think Apple, the biggest thing about Apple is that the product is what the people think the product is, right? The feeling that you get. The same reason why we wear Jordans and the boss say he got Adidas on. Get out of my face. I got J's on. It's like, bro, I got J's on. Leave me alone. Same reason why you can wear the same dress from Zara, and a girl can have another dress from H&M. You can look at her like, ew, just not a thing. I'm kind of cool. That's pretty much what it is. And also this, as an Apple guy, right? The hardware is just the catalyst to the software, right? And people look for things to make them interesting, and little do they know, it's actually the opposite. You're supposed to do interesting things with the hardware. Like, if I give a corny person a phone, he's just gonna scroll Instagram all day. You can give a creative that phone, and they can give a full feature film on it. It's not the thing, it's you, it's what you do with it. People are looking for these things that make themselves interesting. And once you start operating at a certain dollar amount, when you are like shelling out phones every year with people, you have to cater to not really the creatives, you have to cater to the everyday person. And that's why every year when you see the improvements, it's catered towards the everyday person. What do people do on their phones? They doom scroll on it. When they're scrolling all day, they're doing point and shoot photos, and they have it all day, and they got one charger. So you know what that means? Let me get a clearer screen, a better camera, longer battery life, and a better chip to multitask on apps. That is what the everyday person needs. They don't need a hologram to pop out. They don't need to throw it in the air and turn into a hoverboard and then you go. It's not none of that. A lot of people are boring, and this phone is going to do that with you, do boring things. So you should be thankful, everyday people.
Yeah,
that's my little take.
I get that. Yeah, most people just gotta again. There's only so much you can do before you start stagnating, and Apple's gonna have those years where, like the 16, I doubt. Truthfully, I honestly didn't expect the 15 to be such a jump, hardware-wise on the inside.
Yep.
So, from what I'm thinking for the 16, I very much doubt there's gonna be a giant jump, especially with what was announced, the new A17 Pro chip.
Yep.
In the 15 Pro, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
This. As a very heavy gamer, as a gamer bull, if you will, I'm very weary on mobile gaming, just because a lot of mobile games, first of all, phones in general, like they essentially are computers, but you just don't have the power to run AAA games at scale for a lengthy amount of time without your phone basically exploding in your hands.
Yep. Hot as fuck.
But yes, very fucking hot. Your battery drains in like an hour. Your phone starts to overheat. It's a bad thing. But when you, Apple spoke to me this event, because you're telling me, first of all, you give me all the good stuff as a nerd. Like there's just a bunch of shit that they're telling me that I really enjoy. But then you tell me that I can play Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 4 Remastered, Death Stranding, and Assassin's Creed Mirage all on my phone. But that's insane to me. That you don't have to use any cloud gaming, no services, anything like maybe Apple Arcade, most likely. But the fact that the phone is gonna be able to run an entire game designed for the phone and not just a console port over, that is like very. It's. What would you call it? Groundbreaking?
I would call it groundbreaking, to be honest. I would call it groundbreaking.
Okay. All right. Because I was gonna say, I feel like, because there's gaming phones like Asus. I know Asus. Some of you guys might know,
Mm.
but Asus made a gaming phone that was like a hella RAM, a bunch of all that fun stuff. But it wasn't like you can't play again. You can't play AAA games on it because it's just not a thing. It's just not available to you. And these are some of the heaviest hitters in all of gaming. Resident Evil is one of the most iconic IPs in all of gaming.
Yep.
Death Stranding is a Hideo Kojima game he is undeniably one of the most famous names in gaming. Assassin's Creed, everyone knows what that is, and their new release is going to be on an iPhone.
Ooh.
That's crazy to me. That is ridiculous to me. That is unheard of. There's no phone on the planet that can run a AAA game, and you're telling me the iPhone 15 Pro can do it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I want to, when you get it, when we get the phone, I definitely want to do a test and see how clean it actually runs. I really want to do
Yeah, I'm interested in that because I want to like fully charge it and then use it maybe for like an hour, see where the battery is, see what the performance is like, see if the phone is gonna explode in your hand.
Max brightness and all.
Yeah.
The titanium body.
Yes, we have to. Oh man, let's talk about it. Let's get into it.
All right, so the chip is amazing. The titanium body, right? At first, like, it sounds cooler than what it is, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. It's the same color. It basically took the first Apple Watch Ultra and expanded on it, right? Everyone knows titanium is definitely tougher and is lighter and it expands a bit with heat and whatnot. I think it's fine. People are complaining about the colors this year, saying the colors are kind of like meh. But the colors on the Pros never really been that, like,
they've never been these big bright colors. They're always very calm, relaxed, kind of muted,
and regal, fancy. Some
Yes.
self-respect. I'm serious.
Yeah. They're like, take me seriously.
I can't come in with a hot pink phone or like a turquoise Pro phone. This is not a Pro. What are you doing? I like the new, what's it called, natural titanium. I like it. I think it's
natural
dope.
titanium. It looks like a brushed gold, and I really like that. That looks very cool.
Crazy brushed gold, right? I'm like, dude, like, oh my god.
It looks nice. The blue, I'm not gonna lie. If I'm picking, which I'm definitely am, I am between. First of all, black titanium looks like space gray. I'm good.
Yeah.
I fuck with you, Apple, but I'm good.
I'm cool.
The white titanium is very solid, very valid, classic white phone. Gotta have it.
Mm-hmm.
But then we get to the blue and the natural titanium, and the blue titanium, it's a nice, calm finish, but that natural is the gold champagne color to it. I don't know. I like it. It speaks classy.
I feel like when you get that phone, your credit score should go up at least 10 points. Just at least 10 points. You can't have this phone.
It looks like it.
I feel like you can't have this phone and drink like regular water. It has to be sparkling if you have this phone out. That's
minimum.
How I feel
if you,
about it.
it's got to be Fiji or something.
Right?
You gotta,
or Essentia, something like that. You can't.
Yeah.
You gotta keep on brand with the phone. I'm liking it a lot. People complain about the colors. The colors make sense. The two new colors, which is the blue titanium and the natural titanium, I like. I have no problem whatsoever. The what is it called? The camera. So apparently, all right. I'm a big camera guy. I was obviously this is filmed on that, right? I'm a big camera guy. Apparently, we got 7 Pro lenses in your pocket. We have a 0.5 ultra wide, a 0.5 ultra wide 13 millimeter. 1x main 24 millimeter cool to the 28. It's a bunch of different frames, and I think this is cool. These are standard ones. I think this is cool. I think a lot of people are not going to use it. A lot of people are just going to use the main lens. A lot of people don't play with the lens when it comes to the iPhone, because the iPhone.
They really don't.
The iPhone is capable of a lot of things. An immaculate camera, to be honest.
Yes.
It's them. So the portrait mode, they kind of got not rid of the portrait mode, but they kind of just like, usually beforehand you had to just switch to the portrait mode to take a photo that's in portrait, but now they're using the computational photography that any photo you take with the main camera will be a portrait photo if you decided to make it one, which I think is dope, because the portrait mode was one of the best camera features they did in a long time. A lot of people love that portrait mode. I thought it was pretty good. But
yeah,
the zoom. So apparently, like, you get this crazy zoom in. Like, I think it's like times 6, I think, or something like that. you get a crazy zoom in, but it still holds the clarity of the 1x 48 megapixel camera. I want to test that in real world, because if that's the case, that's immaculate. I think that's dope. If that's the case, chef's kiss, immaculate, amazing. And I wonder if it's also on the video camera. If it's just a photo camera, I don't know. I hope it's on the video camera. Do you know?
I would imagine it is, just because I feel like I would imagine it is. If it's not on the Pro, it's 100% on the Pro Max, because I think it's like 3 times telephoto zoom on the Pro and 5 times on the Max. I would imagine if you're packing so much into that small area, I would hope that you can record in it. I would hope it. I honestly don't know. They didn't mention. They mainly focused on the camera, the picture system itself, not the not the recording.
I got you. Yeah. So okay. So I see it. The 15 Pro Max has particularly the 5 times telephoto camera, which makes sense. It's slightly bigger. They can put more stuff in it. That's why I always go for the Pro Max. If you want the best possible camera, every single year. You alright?
My bad.
I got you.
We can cut that out. That's my bad.
I got you. Every year, most people don't know this unless you're like an Apple fanboy. People think the Pro and the Pro Max is the exact same phone, but they usually hide some sort of extra camera oomph in the camera for the Pro Max, simply because the phone is bigger, so the camera module is bigger, so they can do a little extra something, which I think is dope. Always go for the Pro Max if you want the best possible camera. The Pro is not always the same every year. It might be a small difference, but a difference nonetheless. Which model are you going for?
All right. This is purely a personal thing.
Got you.
But I physically cannot hold the Pro Max. Like my hand ain't that damn small. I can hold the Pro Max. But comfortably every day to day, I'm gonna get pissed trying to use the Pro Max and that big ass screen.
Yeah.
So I would just stick with the Pro. Plus the Pro, truthfully, for me, if I'm paying the extra, what is it, like $300 bucks or something? It's 200, right? Or something like that.
I think so. Yeah. So
I think because
it's not 1,100 no more. It's 1,200.
Yeah. So then extra $200 for me to basically be inconvenienced. I'm good, bro. Like I'm
kind of chilling.
I'm definitely going. What happened?
You said I'm kind of chilling I'm not paying for inconvenience. Like if I get it,
I'm not paying for that.
Yeah, I feel you.
I'm sorry, but I could imagine playing a game on my current the 14 Pro that I have right now, and it's a big enough screen, truthfully. But I'm going with the Pro. I'm not going the Pro Max. I'm good. Yeah, that's for privileged folk with bigger hands. I do. Yeah, I don't got the facilities to use the Pro Max.
Yo, how do you feel, right? Because this is kind of like the biggest hardware difference. How do you feel about the action button?
The action button is so fire.
I think it is too, right? I feel like people be like, it's just a button, like, or like, of course, you're gonna hear the Samsung people. It's the Bixby button, or like a couple of phones did it in the past. No one cares. Leave, like.
Yeah, nobody cares. The Bixby button. Fuck, like what?
No one cares, bro.
That sounds mad.
Other phones had it first. We don't care.
Okay? Apple did it, and they did it better. That's all that matters.
I think the action button is dope. I'm personally going to use it for the just so to launch my camera quickly, and I'm pretty sure in the settings you probably get to dictate front or back.
Yeah, they were showing like a bunch of options in the demo for it. Excuse me, when they were talking about it, they were showing a bunch of options that you can change you can make it a shortcut to like open an app once the phone is unlocked, I'm assuming. You can make it the camera thing, the flashlight, whatever you want. You can use it as the ringer, if you want to just keep it that way. It all depends on what you want to do. But yeah, they did show a way that you can tweak what it does, kind of like the Ultra.
For content creators, I think this is really dope. The voice memo one, right? Because a lot of people...
The voice memo thing is very cool.
I think voice memo and camera is going to get used the most for a lot of content creators and people who are trying to just create something. Because a lot of people are like short on gear or like always stuck in that little gear purgatory where they're constantly looking for different gear to get to make their content good, this and the third. But if you just got your because the microphone in the iPhone is really good, because like it's made for phone calls and things of that nature. Really
Yeah,
good
it is,
microphone, right? Is it one of the most best microphones out there? No, because the Shure mic's probably better. But most people have an iPhone. If you're telling me I can just click this button and it launches a voice memo, whereas I can do interviews for people, that's ridiculously dope. Like it's gonna have so much use opposed to you kind of fiddling with your phone for about 10 seconds in front of the person. They're kind of sitting there kind of awkward, and you say, all right, action. You can just be like, click, boom, we're going, and you moving and shaking. So I'm definitely gonna be using camera and voice memo because that is dope.
Yeah, I will say as a like I don't do IRL stuff at the moment, but I feel like that is a very convenient thing to use, especially since in most TikToks and stuff you see these interviewers shoving the iPhone into someone's face. Like, whereas you have to go into the voice memos, press record, blah blah blah, do all that. Now you can just press the button, boom, you're ready to go. Very simple, very easy to use. As is Apple's selling point. It's just an easy phone to use. It's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm. Hold up, did we get the? Hold up, question. Did we not get the colored braiding charging cord that everyone thought we were gonna get? Did we not get that?
Listen, no, we didn't, and I'm pissed about it. Let's talk about it because man, come on, like Apple's going in, bro. You're telling me I got a champagne colored iPhone feeling classy, credit score is up 50 points. I don't at least get the braided USB-C cable. Man,
I kind of wanted that. Like it was kind of silly. It was kind of like, all right, really? But I kind of wanted it. Be honest, I kind of wanted it. Right?
Listen, I got the MacBook Air. I got the braided or the colored Thunderbolt cable.
Which one you got?
Why can't I get it for the iPhone?
What color do you have?
I have the midnight one.
Really? I got the when I got the 2021 or 22 iMac that came out, I got the blue one, and it came with a blue braided cord, and I got that bad boy to this day. I'm like, nah, it's a little different. It's a little different. I don't know. Like when people see it, they're like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Relax."
You don't even know. You don't know. You don't know. Your credit's not like mine. You don't know.
I'm gonna look at people like you ain't get the natural titanium. Okay, you chose.
I'm definitely getting that natural titanium. I might have just made up my mind. Yeah, I'm going for that one.
I got a question.
I wonder what's up.
Why do you think they made the 14 Pro Max strictly 256?
The 15 Pro Max.
I'm sorry, the 15 Pro Max. Why?
I think that they are trying to do what Samsung did with their Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we're gonna start seeing Apple for the most part does their own thing. But I feel like that is Apple's response to the Ultra, the 23 Ultra being 256 gigs.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been smart if they upped the storage and kept the price the same, if that makes sense. So keep the 256, bring that price down, because previously you had it as an option. You had the 128 256, but I feel like if they did 256, kept it at the 1100 price mark, that would have been good. Because whenever people are already going to get on Apple for making this what they believe to be quote unquote the same phone.
Yep.
So when they see things like the price, I don't want to call it gouging because it would have been 1200 anyways for the 256. But when they see the price hike, first of all, Apple leaves for whatever reason. Apple leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, and then when they see that an already expensive phone has become even more expensive, they just don't like it. So I think that it's just gonna blow over. It's just Apple's response to the 23 Ultra. I legitimately believe that's it. But I would have liked to see the 256 version available at the $1,100 price mark, because I mean, really, you're getting it's the 23 Ultra price. So for anyone that's on Samsung's ass, it's like, dude, you're paying the same amount for a better phone, because Pro Max. Listen, it's just Apple's better than Samsung. Simple as that.
Yeah, I'm trying to
You're paying the same amount for a better phone.
I'm trying to find out what the exact price is to make a like the cost of making the internal storage, like the chip that holds the chip that has the storage in the phone. I don't know why I can't even talk right now. And I know
you want to see if there's a price difference.
I know it's
cost-wise.
I know it's a minuscule amount compared to the price that we pay for the actual thing. Because I have a theory that one of the biggest uh, I got you. So the biggest like scam, whatnot, is how much we pay extra for the gigabytes in the phone. Because I know making it the standard one is not that much, and when you give me a higher gigabyte, I know it's not that much more, if any more at all. And you got me paying an extra 100, 200, 300 to get a bigger chip. That's a little ridiculous.
No, 100%. It shouldn't be that extra 100. I think eventually it'll drop back down. I doubt Apple is going to continue charging people the 1200 for a base model, the base model of the Pro Max, when it's always been around that $1,000 price tag. So pushing that to 1200 is a bit much, but it'll change eventually. I assume so. But there was more talk about the what is it called? The Vision Pro.
Yeah.
And I want to touch on it because of what they spit. I hate to see this is Apple is very humble in a sense about certain technology and things that they do, because they spent maybe they spent a minute talking about this, and it's very cool to me, and I'm kind of pissed they didn't talk more about it.
What part was
it? It was the spatial video.
Yeah.
I am very interested to learn the technology in that, because from what I know, I think you have to have the Vision Pro to see spatial videos.
Yep.
It's obviously Apple's visual version of spatial audio.
Yep.
What they explained it was you can take, I think it's available on 15 Pro and Pro Max. They can shoot these spatial videos, but the only way you can see it in the spatial version, I guess you could say, is if you have a Vision Pro.
Yep.
Which I listen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm used to Apple charging an asinine amount of money for their products, but when I saw the Vision Pro being $3,500, it kind of it left a bad taste in my mouth. But the more I kind of just convinced myself of an AR product that Apple's selling, as well as spatial, that is, again, Apple glossed over this completely.
Yep.
Spatial video, that's ridiculous.
Yep.
I want to, you're telling me I can be in the moment again. That's sick. That's cool. It's very cool. I'm very excited to see how that turns out with the Vision Pro.
I think the A17 Pro chip is the first step into that. I think it's going to be that 15 Pro Max. I don't know what I keep calling. I'm thinking the Ultra. The 15 Pro Max with the A17 Pro chip is going to be a requirement to actually shoot it and also see it. But that pairing of phone, Vision Pro, and potentially headphones, more than likely, is going to be ridiculous. It's going. I think the Pro chip right now is just gearing up to work with the Vision Pro, because it's going to be I think it's going to be an added benefit and an added
to have an iPhone.
To have an iPhone, and once you got the Vision Pro, you're not going to need nothing at all. You're not going to want nothing. I'm not going to want anything else if it was not supposed to work.
You'll be watching movies in the Vision Pro. No, nothing else needed.
Not at all. I'm cool. Especially, listen, even if you give me a more immersive. Because I was looking through the Apple developer spatial computer stuff and how you can make menus and things of that nature.
Yeah. Once
people get used to having on the Vision Pro, because you get when you have the Vision Pro on, you get to make different screens and different windows. There's really no limit really to it. It's no realistic limit. Can you make 20,000 screens? Probably not, because the computer capacity, right? That amount of RAM is actually in the actual Vision Pro. Probably can't handle it. But can you make 15, 16? More than likely. Most people are probably not going to need more than 10. But you can make a lot, which is dope, right? Having the Vision Pro on, making a screen, and you be able to gesture through your Instagram or whatever you're watching, your multitasking is way better, because we're so used to using our hands, even though we can't see. If you're blindfolded, you can still gesture with your hands and whatnot. And if you have the Vision Pro and you're scrolling through certain things, it's going to be ridiculous. If they get this right, even if they get it halfway right, it's going to be ridiculous. People are going to be watching YouTube, watching Netflix on your Vision Pro, just chilling, because it's going to be a better experience. Like you get to make the screen as large as you want. Clarity was not going to be a problem. We already have 5G network access, whereas streaming is basically a non-issue really. Like having a Vision Pro is gonna be amazing. Having a Vision Pro is gonna be amazing. But
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The price tag is what threw me off, but I'm more than likely gonna end up with a Vision Pro.
You gonna get one? You definitely gonna.
I feel like eventually what we're heading to is a very. This is just me speculating at this point. With the combination of Apple for some weird reason, there was a large emphasis on gaming because after a certain point, there's only so much you can do with your chip, like on mundane tasks like opening Instagram, checking your grocery list, stuff like that. So I assume that's why they had a focus on gaming. But I think that eventually we're gonna get to a point where Apple is like Ready Player One was such it was such an influence on their trailer, so to say, for the Vision Pro, and I feel like that's where Apple wants to go. They want to make the Oasis. I really do feel like Apple's eventually going to get to that point. They're going to get to a point where because they have such a monopoly and such a hold over people that they're going to get to a point where this idea of the Oasis in the story and in the book or movie, whatever you've seen it in, is going to become a real reality. But because I was going to make a cool little segue. I was going to say, because you mentioned gestures and hand gestures. Let's talk about, you know what I'm getting to, because I really like this about this particular product. So before I do, you have anything else?
No, that's pretty much it. Like, perfect.
All right, so speaking of gestures, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Series 9 and the Apple Watch Ultra 2. The Ultra, there's not much to write home about the Ultra.
Not at all.
The original one, at least. Or the new one, excuse me. The original was very cool. I liked it a lot. I own one. Battery, great. Display, great. All the things that it's meant to be used for, great, perfect. The Ultra 2 is not, the brightest Apple display ever. 3,000 nits is ridiculous, considering there are certain phones in Apple's lineup that don't even have that. But the main wearable devices that Apple pushed this time was the Series 9. And the Series 9, there's not much to write home design-wise. True, like again, same thing with the app with the iPhone. There's not much to change physically. There's only so much you can do before you're just running out of things to change. But the chip, the what they call it, the S9 SIP.
Yeah.
You can.
Yo, the funny thing about it, I thought the lady messed up when she said that. Just the all new S9 SIP. I'm like, did she like mess up and didn't say chip? But it's SIP. I'm wrong. I apologize.
It's SIP now. And they introduced a lot of the stuff stayed the same. It's faster, obviously, all that fun stuff. Carbon neutral, we'll get to that because very big part of the keynote. But I don't know why, just this feature, I really like it. You can now double tap to do just about anything. So if you're on a phone call with someone, you don't want to hear them. You can like almost in a Thanos-like way remove them from your focus. You can just double tap your fingers and just like that, the phone call's over. And I'm assuming this is because of the S9 SIP. If you double tap to do certain, like it's basically the action button.
Yeah. I didn't connect that.
It is basically the action button from the Ultra and the iPhone 15 Pro. You can like control what it does. You want to start a workout, double tap. You want to hang up a phone, double tap. You want to there's a lot that they said you could do with this double tap.
It's like you could answer calls, set a timer. You could reply to a message while how you reply to a message? That's kind of crazy. Hold on, how do you do that?
What? You can double tap the amount of I don't know, bro. Some weird stuff, man. Um, you can play and pause music. That's very cool. And more. They Apple specifically said and more at the end. So I'm legitimately gonna assume like this is the action button for the Series 9. They snuck it in there thinking we wouldn't notice it's there. The
Yeah.
double tap. That is
I wonder
that's cool. I'm
Oh.
sorry. That's cool. It's a very, very minuscule, very normal, very calm thing. Like the Galaxy Watch can probably do it, but Apple did it, so it's cool. I'm sorry. It's as simple as that.
I think this is probably the best thing they did. Like this is like I don't want to call it civil engineering, but like this is going to be this,
Simple engineering.
like it's going to ingratiate itself into everyday society so quick and so great that
Oh, I can't imagine the memes. I can't wait.
it's going to be a mainstay. Like it's so simple, but it's so good.
Oh yeah. Oh man, someone's pissing you off. Double tap.
Like,
Like,
like-
literally, like I said, Thanos snap. You're gone. Like
Yo.
it's simple as that.
You can live out your little Thanos dreams. And
Literally.
people who own Apple Watches, right? Before the Ultra, we had the 44, 45, no, 42, 45 or something like that. It wasn't that big, right? So like, even if you could like, the Apple Watch has a screen and it's pretty good, but it's still pretty cumbersome, especially if you have big hands or big fingers. Like, it's not the greatest. It's not the greatest experience. It's not. It's the Apple Watch. Like,
Yeah.
texting on it, I can't really do that. Like, or just even going on certain things, right? Like the action button. Like I own Ultra. The action button from the Ultra is such a great thing. You click it, workout started. We're on the go. Opposed to you going in there, I'm hitting cardio and click to just start. Cool. You hit the button and it works. I like that a lot. The double tap. It's probably my favorite feature. I'm not even out of the whole keynote. The double tap is my favorite feature. I think it's lit, and I hope it works.
I can't lie. This double tap is crazy.
Hang out with somebody, answer the call, because it's just easier. Like you get to use the Apple Watch, because the Apple Watch you don't really want to interface with the Apple Watch. Not really. You just want to like you don't want to interface with it with your hands. You want to kind of just want to see it, see what it's saying, and get notifications, but not really use it. This double tap is kind of like separating you from actually having to touch the watch, which I actually like, especially for the majority of the things that you get from the Apple Watch. Most people don't spend a lot of time on the Apple Watch doing stuff. It's just like, oh, that happened, that's cool, I answer back.
It's a convenience thing. It's true, and they somehow made it more convenient with this double tap. Now, if you don't even have to look at your watch to end the call. You could just double tap your fingers, boom, that's it. Keep going about your day. It's a very, like I said, very convenient thing.
I wonder how
Apple is.
I wonder how accurate it is.
What happened?
I wonder how accurate it is. I can't wait. Hold up.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Like will you have to? Because I know that think of the AirPods, the second generations, the regular AirPods second gen. You had to like double tap the AirPods relatively hard in order to get it to skip a song, to pause, stuff like that. I wonder if it's gonna be one of those things where you really have to double tap your index finger and thumb, or if you could just do it like as a passing gesture and then boom, that's it. Whatever you need done. I'm interested to see how that works out. I really am.
It's gonna be a thin line because if it doesn't work flawlessly and I gotta go click, like I gotta be like, if I gotta hold my hand up and go like tap, it's not gonna be good. It has to be like so like not thought about. Has to be just like I'm doing something else, click, I'm done. Like it has to be that. If it doesn't nail that, it's gonna suck. This is either going to be a slam dunk or a horrible crap. Horrible. One of the two.
I agree. And I mean, unless you want to talk about the Apple Watch Ultra, I think we move on to probably one of Apple's most prominent things about the keynote.
Yeah, because the Apple Watch, the Ultra 2 is not really nothing, bro. Like it's like, all right, like you can get it, you know. Like I wanted a new Ultra, but if it's not really nothing, I'm not getting an Ultra. Like it's
I at least thought they were gonna do a different color, like a matte black maybe, which pisses me off that they didn't change it. Because a matte black Ultra, I'm sorry, I'd have to cop.
Oh, let me see. Let me see if I can compare it real quick. Let me see. Cause I want to.
But let me see if I can compare it real quick.
I want to see it.
I would imagine
if it's not like all right, Ultra. No, don't hide from me. Show me the other Ultra.
Just show me the other Ultra.
Yeah, like don't.
I would imagine. Do you think that the original Ultra is gonna drop in price?
I think it might drop it like very, very a little bit, and then they're going to stop selling it.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably gonna drop like $50, maybe. Yeah, I don't see Apple like because they're so similar. It works in Apple's favor to just completely get rid of the first one.
Yeah.
For those who didn't get the first one, but I mean, there's no like if you have an Ultra, there's no need to really upgrade. There really isn't. There's like
2,000 nits from 3,000 nits, man.
It's not. Yeah. The app. First of all, Ultra's already bright as hell.
Yeah.
When you need it. So it really. I mean, did you manage to pull up the?
Yes, yo, bro. It's the same. Besides the NIC at 64 gig capacity, 32 gig capacity. Why would I need 64 gigs on a watch? Cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a better sensor.
If you didn't get the first one, get the second one. You might as well. Yeah. But if you have the first one, don't need to upgrade. I'll say that.
100%. In fact, that's it. Boom. Listen, I'm gonna go. They made some new bands. I'm gonna go get a new band, spruce my watch up a bit. But besides that, not at all.
Yeah.
Keep
it's nothing crazy.
That's carbon.
Yes. Let's get right into it. You want to take the lead on this, or was
all right? So during the keynote, man, I've noticed. I'm like, yo, because like when it started with the iPhone 15, right? No, it started with the Apple Watch series, right? I was like, okay, cool. They started off a little slow. They're gonna lead up to the big kabang, which is the iPhone 15 to 15 Pro, which I thought was cool. But they just kept talking about carbon this and carbon neutral this. I'm like, yo, like, one, smart, because Apple's brand is amazing. Like, again, early on in the video, if you have an Apple product, you just feel cooler than the person who doesn't have an Apple product, just because. And that other person, no matter what stats or whatever stats they want to look up or any specs they want to look up, it don't matter. You still feel like crap when that dude makes fun of you for having a non-Apple device, right? Which is crazy.
It feels like shit.
It's like no matter what. Well, my camera's better, and I've had 2 more gigs of RAM, and we did it 4 years ago. You still feel bad, buddy. It's okay.
You feeling the need to explain that you had all this already. You feeling that anger to explain, like, I gotta get that. You that's what that is. You feel left out, lost. So let it die.
So them being carbon neutral, right? I think this is the physical representation of them changing or helping their brand look even better, just like how they did with how Apple takes security and privacy seriously, and they had that whole thing going back and forth with Facebook. Like, no, on our devices, we listen. The apps are the work, and the hardware is the block. At the end of the day, your apps got to be on my hardware, okay, people? So we kind of make the rules, Mr. Zuck. I'm just saying, so you're not stealing no one's information. That affects your business model. I understand that, but honestly, I don't care. My name's Tim Cook, and I cook, okay? So, but that is definitely the physical representation. Help your branding, because people thought like Apple was like this big evil company who was stealing money, or they probably are, but who are just taking or making the same phone and not giving people anything. So that privacy thing was a big lick for them brand wise. This carbon neutral is the second lick for them brand wise. It's like no other tech company is doing this another tech company who sells a product like this at scale, this important culturally to people. So them making it carbon neutral is amazing. The band's carbon neutral. The whole plan design progress is carbon neutral. They're trying to be completely, what's it called? How did they coin it by 2030? No,
completely carbon neutral, net zero in terms of carbon emissions.
By 2030, I think that's dope. I feel a little better about buying my iPhone. Just saying.
Yeah.
100%
I mean, hey,
clean
you
electricity.
can stick with your Samsung and all that plastic. We saving the planet at Apple.
That's crazy,
You
yo.
feel me?
They're not even saving the planet. They don't care about the planet, Dan. They don't care about the
Exactly.
planet. That's
Come
crazy.
on, man. Listen. You
They
can stick
messed
with
up.
Samsung all you want. Your extra RAM, but we saving the planet over here, so you could feel better by yourself if you switch.
Listen,
Simple.
man. Clean electricity. It's a powered by 100% clean electricity, 30% recycled materials, and 50% or more without airplanes.
I will say I want to go back and rewatch the very funny Mother Nature skit.
Yeah, that skit was good.
I want to kind of like just on my own, not for any content or anything like that. I just want to dissect what exactly was said about the Apple Park or the Apple building, whatever. I don't know the headquarters, whatever building they film all of their keynote stuff in now. I want to dissect what exactly they were talking about, because they were talking about clean electricity, a mix of this with a dash of that. Like I want to fully understand what exactly was said to see if Apple's actually committing to this carbon neutral, which they are. Fair step to them. Apple's first carbon neutral product. But I actually want to see if they, what they were talking about and whether or not it was just techno pseudo intelligence bullshit, or if it's actually a step that they're taking. Because I think that a tech company specifically, in an age where technology is almost as necessary as food and water,
Yep.
No company is taking these steps. We don't. Me and you, whenever we talk, it's not political, but truthfully, at the end of the day, there is shit going on with not in the world, of course, but with the actual planet. Like there are problems that need to be addressed, and with as much technology that's being made, of course, there's going to be carbon emissions. Of course, there's going to be these pollution issues. So when you see a company, $1 trillion company, might I add, that is actually taking these steps to reduce their carbon footprint, make carbon neutral products, it sends a signal to a lot of tech companies, a lot of companies in general. Just, hey, look, the $1 trillion company can do it, so can we. Why would we not follow those steps, if that makes sense?
That's right. Listen, man, I'm all for it. I'm an Apple stan.
Of course. Gee, listen, I feel like a lot of this, like a lot of people might see this and be like, oh, they're just blowing smoke up Apple's ass. No, because truthfully, Apple does have their missteps. The 15 itself is a misstep.
Yeah,
truthfully,
right.
I think that for as much as I do enjoy Apple and their products, the 15 was a misstep. The 15 is the 14 Pro reskinned, repackaged, lower price reduction.
Dude, that's like, I'm sorry, it's nothing to talk about for the iPhone 15 regular. It's just 14. The iPhone 15 is the iPhone 14. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. There was no jump there, which I get because they needed to save stuff for the 15 Pro and so on. I get it, but that doesn't mean we're not going to talk about it. Like there's an obvious. It's an obvious. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just unnecessary. You could have just truthfully give me the 15 Pro, 15 Pro Max. Like that's you don't need it. You don't even need the Plus in there. And truthfully, I think the Plus is going to sell the worst.
100%.
Apple always has issues with their extra. Like when Apple's doing 3 phones, that's their best. When they had their mini years and then now they're switching back to there's no. No, you either get the 15, the Pro, or the Pro Max. I think that's Apple's perfect lineup in my dream world. But yeah, no, a lot of what Apple's doing is right. They're heading in the right direction with phones. Hardware internally is what I think a lot of companies need to focus on. Because again, after a certain point, there's so much you can do with the outside before shit becomes very stagnated, and there's no point in updating it. The camera's probably going to remain the same. I imagine at some point we're going to get a four lens iPhone, which that'll probably be the biggest change in the next 10 years. I doubt there's going to be anything really different about the phone physically outside.
Give me more lenses, bro. I'll take that. If they can give me, in fact, an eye camera, give that to me.
The eye camera.
Give me an eye camera. I'm dead serious. Eye camera is just like, yo, it's just a camera, and it's $1,500.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that'd be very cool.
I'll take it. I would not upgrade my phone. I would just get the camera.
I wouldn't either.
I would just get the camera and call it a day. Like, I'm kind of.
The eye camera would definitely be a good step in because I feel like Apple. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I think we talked about this. The Vision Pro. I mentioned that I'm always gonna be excited for a 15 or not for a 15 for an iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
But I am more interested in Apple's other endeavors now, like the Vision Pro. The Apple Car has had a patent for about 10 years now. Mm-hmm. I wonder when we're gonna see that. The HomePod is a very very Amazon Echo-esque, but it's still very cool. I'm more like just, I mean, again, phone's gonna stagnate. I'm very interested to see in what Apple's gonna do with their other products. Vision Pro, Vision Pro 2. That's definitely gonna happen because another thing I think people don't realize, the Vision Pro is the first AR device we've had, right?
Yeah, to my knowledge. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so I mean, they're the first in
Apple,
like, bro, like Apple is making a lot of steps in every way besides just their iPhones. So I'm very excited to see what those end up being. Again, I want to see the Apple Car. I want to see the Vision Pro and what that becomes. I want to see the HomePod, for all its shortcomings, get smarter. I want to see what Apple plans to do with everything else and how it's all eventually going to fit into one massive ecosystem.
I'm sorry. I completely agree. I'm comparing specs. I'm sorry. I'm comparing specs.
You're good. Because you brought up a very good thing, the eye camera. I'm not gonna the eye camera, whatever the fuck they want to call it. I would love Apple's take on a digital camera. I really would.
Give me that. Dead ass, give me that. So I start using my phone. Even though it's a Mac.
That shit, bro. Considering how expensive, like a Sony, a Nikon, a Canon, all that shit is. Considering how expensive, I said Nikon. Is it Nikon?
I guess Nikon. I say Nikon.
Whatever it is, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Considering how expensive those cameras can get, I'm gonna just throw this out there. That's Apple makes that's 4 bands.
4 bands.
I'm not lying.
It might be 5. It might be 5 to be honest.
You might not even need like SD cards and shit. It'll just have its own storage. Like it's gonna be a monster of a camera if they end up doing that.
I would take it.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of people were upset with the with the carbon neutral thing, which I get. But also, I'm not gonna lie, Apple's keynotes have become a cinematography masterpiece. Like the shit. They like go so grand for like the littlest shit. Like it's amazing. Like the whole carbon neutral thing when they like transported the lady to like a windmill, like a windmill field like that. I'm sorry, that's cool. It's just cool. It's just little shit like that.
If you can give an overall grade, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 products, right? And you can grade it. What would you give it?
We got 4. The watches and the phones.
2 watches, 2 phones. Do you feel like the iPhone for the 15 Pro? You think the Pro was a miss or a hit?
I think the Pro is a massive hit because the jump. We rarely ever see jumps like this from Pro to Pro.
Yeah.
So truthfully, the Pro was very surprising. Yeah. I did not expect it to be this good.
The 15.
For what they're promising, at least. Whether or not turns out to be the case, we'll see.
And the 15 obviously is a miss. It's like,
the 15 is gonna. The 15 normal is gonna do okay. 15 plus is gonna flop like nobody's ever seen before.
We might go back to 3 phones after this. And it might flop so bad that we might go back to 3 phones. Probably.
I want them to. There's no point in the 15 plus. There's $100 difference between that and the Pro.
Yep.
And truthfully, the 6.1 to 6.7. It's not like I was talking about how I can't hold a fucking Pro Max, but it's probably not that. It's really not that big of a difference. If you're going from the Plus to the Pro. So.
It's a difference, but the allure of having a Pro phone outweighs the physical difference.
Yes, I agree. I completely agree.
Yeah, and I feel like the Apple Watch Ultra 2 is a miss. And
it's nothing crazy.
And the Series 9 is I would call it a hit because of the gesture. So we kind of like at a 50-50 percentage here. Like, all right, two things hit and two things just wasn't a hit. It's okay. Overall, I like the keynote. It was dope. I liked it. We didn't get no iPads. Cool, no problem. They got iPads at WWDC, I think. So
I feel like they're starting to push that more there than anywhere else. Because the keynote, like everyone knows, everyone's like in there, got it wired in now. That September is September's iPhone time. Apple Watch, iPhone time.
Yeah.
So I feel like iPad's gonna be more with Mac now. There's also just so much you can do with an iPad before you start to turn it into a MacBook. Thanks. So it really doesn't. So yeah.
But yeah,
I like the keynote. I'll say that. I like it.
That is our Apple. That's what we feel about Apple. You let us know in the comment section. How do you guys feel about the Apple event? Are we just blowing smoke up there behind, or is it actually good? We will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Nigga, I'm ghost.
That's dope.